You have probably walked past thousands of sidewalks in your life without giving them a second thought. But there is one sidewalk on Earth where people kneel down, press their hands to the ground, and take photographs of concrete. Today, we are going back to the morning when the most famous sidewalk in the world got its very first star. And the story of how it almost never happened at all is almost as good as Hollywood itself. Stick with me, because this one is full of lawsuits, bad color choices, and one very particular real estate developer who changed everything because he did not like the way a sidewalk matched his building. It is 1953, and Hollywood has a problem. The golden age of the silver screen is fading. Television sets are sitting in living rooms across America. Audiences who used to drive to the movies are staying home. The studios are nervous. The city is nervous. And a man named E.M. Stewart, the volunteer president of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, is trying to think of a way to bring the magic back. His idea? Put the stars in the sidewalk, literally. Embed the names of Hollywood's greatest into the pavement of Hollywood Boulevard so that anyone who walked down that street would be walking among legends. It was a beautiful idea. It was also about to become a magnificent headache. First, the original design featured caricatures of celebrities carved into blue and brown sidewalk tiles. The caricatures were scrapped because they were too hard to execute in brass. Then, a real estate developer named Charles Toberman, who was building something new on the boulevard, looked at the brown and blue color scheme and said no. It clashes with my building, and just like that, the colors changed to the coral pink and charcoal we know today. Because a man did not want his building to clash with a sidewalk, then came the lawsuits. Nearby property owners sued over the $1.25 million in construction costs assessed against them. A second lawsuit was filed by Charlie Chaplin's son, demanding $400,000 because his legendary father had been left off the list of honorees. Both cases were dismissed, and construction finally began on February 8, 1960. But here is the detail that surprises almost everyone. Most people, if you ask them who received the very first star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, would say Joanne Woodward. You might have said it yourself, and it is an easy mistake to make, because Woodward was indeed the first celebrity ever photographed beside a star, back in 1958, when 8 prototype stars were installed temporarily to show the public what the walk would look like. But the very first permanent star pressed into the actual Walk of Fame, that honor belongs to a filmmaker named Stanley Kramer. On March 28, 1960, near the intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and Gower Street, workers set Kramer's star into the new sidewalk. He was the director behind some of the most important films of his era. He produced High Noon and the Caine Mutiny. He helped launch the career of a young actor named Marlon Brando. He made Inherit the Wind, Judgment at Nuremberg, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Films that did not just entertain, films that asked something of the people watching them. And on a Tuesday morning in March of 1960, his name became the first name pressed into the most famous sidewalk on Earth. Without a ceremony, without a crowd, without flashbulbs or fanfare. Workers simply set the star, smoothed the edges, and moved on to the next one. By the time construction was finished in the spring of 1961, 1,558 stars had been laid. Actors, musicians, directors, radio personalities, all of Hollywood pressed into the pavement of a single boulevard. Today, the Hollywood Walk of Fame stretches along 15 blocks of Hollywood Boulevard and 3 blocks of Vine Street. It holds more than 2,700 stars and receives an estimated 10 million visitors every single year. 10 million people who come not to see a movie or visit a studio, but to walk a sidewalk and look down at the names beneath their feet. And it has produced some genuinely wonderful surprises over the years. Mickey Mouse received a star in 1978. Godzilla has one. There are stars for Bugs Bunny, Kermit the Frog, and Big Bird. Roger Moore and Daniel Craig's stars were deliberately placed at 7007 Hollywood Boulevard, a little wink at the James Bond films. Ed O'Neill's star sits directly in front of a shoe store, a quiet nod to his character on Married with Children. And Charlie Chaplin, the man whose son sued to get him included, he finally got his star in 1972. The same year he received an honorary Academy Award. Better late than never. What started as a plan to save a struggling street became a permanent monument to the idea that the stories we tell and the people who tell them deserve to be remembered. Here is what stays with me about this story. All of those stars, all of those names pressed into the sidewalk so that millions of people walking by would stop and remember. Someone looked at a fading street and said, "What this place needs is a way to honor the people who made it matter." And they built it out of brass and concrete, and out of the belief that memory is worth preserving. Now I want to ask you something. You do not need a star in a sidewalk to leave something behind. But the people in your life, the ones who shaped you, the ones whose voices you can still hear even now, they deserve to be remembered too. And the only person who can make sure that happens is you. Have you ever thought about writing down your family's stories, the moments that changed everything? The people nobody outside your family has ever heard of, but who made you who you are? Because those stories are every bit as worthy of being remembered as any name on Hollywood Boulevard. And unlike a star in a sidewalk, a story can carry warmth. It can carry a voice. It can carry a laugh that your grandchildren will recognize, even if they have never heard it. Start with one person, one memory, one moment you are not ready to let it disappear. That is how a legacy begins. And trust me, the people who come after you will be so glad you did. Every single day right here on History Sparks, we find stories just like this one. Stories that remind us why the people who came before us deserve to be celebrated, not forgotten. And I want you with us for every one of them. If today's story gave you something to think about, please hit that subscribe button right now and become part of the History Sparks family. We are here every single day with something new, and this community we are building together is full of the warmest, most curious, and story-loving people I have ever had the joy of knowing. We would love for you to be one of us. Come back tomorrow. Your next story is already waiting. I will see you then.